What's up, my fellow HHN obsessies, and welcome to the HHN Obsession podcast, where we talk about all things HHN and obsess together over this amazing event. I am your host, JJ. With me, as always, the co-ghost, James.
It's me, James, and move over Marilyn Monroe and Walt Whitman, ghosts of the day, because it's my cousin's birthday, Macy. Happy birthday, Macy.
Happy birthday, Macy. Okay. Well, I guess we gotta start doing listener birthdays.
Well, if we're doing ghosts of the day, I was basing it on birthdays, and you can do death days, as you were arguing. That might be more appropriate for a ghost, but I'll say happy birthday to a dead person.
This is such a weird way to start off this show. Why do we do this? Why do we always do this, James?
You gotta knock the people off their expectation.
Why can't we just be a normal podcast?
What? We gotta stand out somehow.
All right, man. So with all that craziness aside, how's your week been? How's your week off been from recording? We got a whole nice week off.
Dude, my windpipes, my vocal cords, they've been chilling.
I forgot I edited out all the singing you did on those announcement episodes we did. I couldn't bear to let the audience hear you sing. I had to take those out. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a Patreon exclusive. Hey. Dude, don't choke. It's okay.
Right when I was taking a swig of my monster, you had to say that. Our Patreon listeners will get to hear the unedited singing number that James did for each announcement episode we did.
Fun fact, that's a secret source that the HHN house sound designers use. They go and sample my screeches.
Oh, so that's what those weird sounds were in the Weekend House.
Yeah, dude. Anything wet sounding, you got it.
Ew.
I don't know.
Gross. People are going to shut this off. They're not even going to listen. Okay. All right. So let's try to get this going here. So let's start off by, we got some pretty big news a few days ago from HHN. They're doing another kind of test thing, similar to the Unmasking the Horror Tour preview stuff that they're going to be doing 2 weeks prior to the event. This time, they have announced that they're going to be doing a whole preview event the day before the event actually starts. So I have the press release right here in front of me. There was an actual press release for this, believe it or not. They didn't do this for the houses, but they did it for this preview event. So they are calling this the Premium Scream Night on August 29th. Again, the day before the event actually starts. So the press release says, it's every Halloween Horror Nights fan's dream or nightmare come true. For the first time ever, guests can experience Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights before it officially opens, with limited capacity and shorter wait times at an exclusive Premium Scream Night event on Thursday, August 29th. Tickets for this unparalleled experience go on sale on Thursday, June 6th. Premium Scream Night guests will earn the ultimate bragging rights, as they will be among the first to face this year's slate of all new frights, comprised of 10 horrifying, movie-quality haunted houses inspired by cinematic greats and eerie original stories created by the twisted minds of Universal's entertainment team. 5 scare zones filled with hordes of menacing creatures and outrageous live entertainment. And ticket holders will also enjoy everything fans love about the world's premier Halloween event in a more intimate experience, complete with limited capacity and shorter wait times. Staggered entry by group into haunted houses, so everyone will fall prey to the scares lurking at every turn. A selection of all you care to enjoy food items created by Universal's award-winning culinary team and inspired by this season's haunts, as well as non-alcoholic beverages. You also get an exclusive event souvenir credential and lanyard, and then you get access to select attractions at the park, and you also get free self-parking with this event as well.
Free parking.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
And the last thing it says is that tickets will be available once again on June 6th for $350 plus tax. And if you are an annual pass holder, you get a slightly discounted price of $325. I just want to start off by saying that is a hell of a lot of money. But when you think about it, for anybody that's going to the event for just one day and they get express, that can in itself come out to around 250 to 300 bucks with your ticket and express. So let's just say it comes out to like 250, right? Also, you're going to be there ordering food and drinks. That comes with this. Free parking also with this. So it kind of levels out. And then on top of that, you get limited capacity and you also get to be separated into groups when you go into the houses. That's insane. That's like super old days HHN.
Yeah, they made sort of like a one-stop shop, like most bang for your buck type deal. It looks like they're like pop-up shopping it, you know? You know how there's like it's like limited time, here it is, but and obviously they're not taking it down afterwards. I was just if that's what you're trying to do is the swiftest everything at once, I don't know. I mean, it could be worth it, but that's comparing a one day to one day type of situation, right?
Right. Again, I think this is just a straight up test. They're trying to test the waters with this. I feel like if it works, they could be doing this more often during the same year, adding certain nights for this exclusive limited. I
Hey, but
mean,
the main event, the highlight is the all you can eat, right? I mean, we can all agree.
I knew you were gonna say that. I know you were gonna mention the all you can eat food. So,
You have to.
I mean, yeah, that's a huge perk. All you can eat food. However, don't believe it's going to be as extravagant as last year's preview food event.
I wonder if it's
Like,
full menu. Do you know?
well, even the food event last year wasn't the full menu, and even at that food preview event, the actual menu items were like sample size. They weren't the actual full size food you were going to get at the event. Like,
Yeah,
you could get the peanut butter burger at the preview event, but it was really tiny. It was
yeah,
like a
but
slider.
imagine now, no limits, tiny peanut butters. You could stack it up, get an 18 patty
Well,
Scooby Doo
well,
style.
well, the preview event last year was also all you can eat.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
So you could have grabbed like four little burgers on one plate if you wanted.
probably, yeah.
Dude, what's wrong with these people skimping? All you vloggers.
So yeah, that here's the thing with that. How you mentioned the vlogger thing. So last year, this preview food event actually didn't go as well as they planned. That's why it's not actually fully coming back this year. The problem was they had it for like 2 weeks straight before the event started, every day. There wasn't enough demand for it. It was very popular the first few days that it started, and then after that, it kind of just dwindled to where hardly anybody was buying tickets for it. Here's the issue that I see with this preview stuff and why they might only be doing this for one night this year. This is only aimed for two different people. Okay. Number one is people that are not locals that are only going to the event one time. And that goes for last year. It was only for people that were there for a day and weren't going to attend HHN, I feel like, or people that were too scared to go to the event. That's people number one. Two, vloggers. That's straight up what it's for. Locals and people that are going to the event multiple nights are not going to pay $350 to go to this. I mean, I feel like they're not. The only thing I can see them going to it for is the limited capacity. That's like an amazing thing. Like, that's unheard of.
What do you say? Limited unlimited food. Yeah, I agree.
Wait, so let me get this straight. Are you saying that you would pay $350 just to get this unlimited food option?
Listen, if I wasn't committing to the full days, this sounds like. I mean, it sounds nice for your feet. First of all, your feet get a nice vacation, and you get the staggered houses. That sounds already worth it. I don't know. It sounds like everything is procured to a smaller audience, so you get the most focus. It sounds pretty nice, and the food. I know I keep. It's a joke, but dude, can you imagine you grab this food, that food, and then you double decker it, you stagger it, you like just shuffle it Scooby Doo sandwich style, and the possibilities are endless. And if you like one thing the most, just keep eating that thing. You can eat like a bunch of them. But no, realistically, it is high for one night for anyone who's not planning on only going one night. But I see it as what you're saying. It's chum in the water for the type of people that have to type in first on every YouTube comment. I don't know if it's trying to cut up the crowds going forward or just get that extra change.
It's straight up influencer tax. That's what they're doing. They are charging influencers
Oh,
to
definitely.
be the first, report on this stuff. Not only do they get free advertisement from these people, they're charging them to do it.
Hey, first in line don't exist no more. They moved the finish line. They made it exclusive now. You got to pay extra. There you go.
Like, not only are they doing this for the Behind the Screams tour, but now they're charging this insane amount of money for this preview event that's happening the day before the official first day of HHN starts. Those vloggers are going to be there.
You think this is like an extreme reaction to the we stayed open 2 weeks and no one liked it, but also I don't know if you're saying like it was unsuccessful just because of turnout and like, but also just the vibe. People were complaining that it was like too mellow and all that. So
Well, yeah, it was just like a 2-hour thing in like a empty sound stage where they just had a bunch of food. It wasn't like a party atmosphere or anything. Like, this is going to be actual HHN.
yeah, definitely everything full force. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, I mean, we have this crazy new thing that I'm not going to attend. I'm not paying $350 for, but I know that this will probably sell out very quickly. Whenever this got announced, I texted James here and I said, "This is kind of crazy this is happening, but I bet you this is going to be like a Taylor Swift type situation where tickets are going to be just gone within a minute. It's going to be so limited, it's going to be hard to grab." If anybody's listening to this and they want to go to this event, I highly recommend you obsessively be on that site on, was it June 6th?
Yeah, babysit that stuff like your eBay prize, like your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 2012 art of book by Ciro Nieli that keeps slipping through my fingers. Treat it like that. Treat it like your little eBay baby.
And also, the speculation about this is if these tickets are being released on June 6th, are the other tickets going to be released on June 6th as far as the multi-night passes and everything else that needs to be released? It's very possible that is happening. So I am fully prepared to just completely destroy my bank account on June 6th for those multi-night passes.
I got a question about how they would handle announcements. You're saying this exclusive event maybe could be the media night and they invent the media. But what if the media, some of them had already paid for this thing? So to avoid that, do you think they would stagger the announcements prior to the event in like, I don't know how they would handle, because sometimes there's event reviewers that they pay for a ticket already and then they get invited.
I think there's the option of refunds. So what's going to be funny is if they don't do media night on this preview event and the media night happens the next day, all those people have to wait a day later than the preview people.
The media night gets first dibs, but hey, you got second banana now. That would sting. I like it.
Either you pay all this money for this preview event or you just wait for media night.
They'd probably do both, wouldn't they?
Maybe, man. All right, I think we beat this horse enough with this preview stuff.
Right. Hey, something I wanted to unsaid in the last one with the unholy trinity. That's a little extreme. If you're going Antichrist times 3, that's like, I mean, they already had trouble with angels and demons at some point. If you're going straight up Antichrist times 3, like, oh my gosh. But I was thinking, missed opportunity. The triplets, they were the icon. They're the first tricon that we get.
Tricon. Oh my god.
The first ever tricon. Hey, 3-in-1 icon, and no one picked it up. It's like it's right in there. It's in front of your nose, right there. But people were just disappointed instead.
They're not gonna be the icon, man.
It's the tricon, bro. Tricon.
Nah. All right, man. But June 6th preview tickets go on sale, and possibly multi-night tickets go on sale. I also am pretty confident that there might be a house announced on June 6th as well. Probably Ghostbusters. Could be A Quiet Place, but I'm guessing Ghostbusters. I feel like that's going to be the bigger IP of the two, so very possible we're going to get a house announcement on that day as well. So All right, everybody. Now, the biggest topic that we're going to be talking about today is last night at I think it was like 11 o'clock at night, Horror Night Nightmares decided to drop their third version of their speculation map. And that is the hot topic of today. Of course, speculation season has kind of started to dwindle down a little bit because of the crazy announcement streak they did last week. So that did kind of take away from a lot of stuff. But there is a little bit of things to talk about on the speculation map. And just know, we always like to say this, that everything that is being talked about besides the original houses that have already been announced is pure speculation and rumors. It's not completely confirmed by Universal. But I will say this late in the game, by the third speculation map, usually the IPs are pretty spot on. Usually these are what is coming. And from all the insider talk that I've seen, everything is correct. This is everything that we're getting as far as houses go. Scare zones, though, we're going to be talking about that a little bit. Let's go ahead and start discussing this thing, man. So I think we should change it up a little bit. Why don't we go
Oh,
counterclockwise this time
oh snap!
around the
Getting
park?
crazy.
We're getting a little crazy. We're just kind of living dangerously.
We were doing the circle, but the other way. Oh man, that's a first.
All right, so let's get started let's just talk about, well, first of all, as soon as you walk in, the first scare zone is still unknown. However, in previous years, that is the introduction zone that usually will have kind of teases of all the houses that are at the event. Last year, however, that was the icon scare zone, Dr. Oddfellow's zone. What will it be this year? Is this going to be the icon zone this year? So, heading through Hollywood, again going counterclockwise, we end up at the Hollywood Scare Zone, which does have a little, what do you call this? I don't want to say icon because icon is kind of confusing with all the terms of Halloween Horror Nights because an icon is the host of the event. So that is, I kept saying that on the last speculation map. And I was like, I shouldn't say icon for these pictures. I should say image,
Symbol.
symbol or image. Yeah. So the symbol of the Hollywood zone is a kind of Dia de los Muertos skull.
What do you call them? The maranitos, moccasin. I forget what the sugar skull is called. Yeah, them. They're called something.
But it has like a little rose on top of it. So here's what's being speculated on all the social medias and the forums and all that kind of stuff. So the rumor is that we are going to be getting a scare zone from the Singapore HHN. It seems that this year they're pulling from different HHNs and having these shared properties. I don't know if that's a budget thing because of Epic Universe, if they're being a little cheap this year and they're just pulling ideas from other Universal parks. At Halloween Horror Nights 6 in Singapore. This is their sixth one in Singapore. This was in 2016.
Okay.
They had a scare zone called March of the Dead. And let me tell you, James, I have seen pictures of this thing and it is beautiful. Like it is gorgeous, this thing. And just looking at it, I hope this is what we're getting, honestly. But the description of it on the HHN wiki is bask in the spine-chilling festivities of the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, and be swept up by a carnival procession of spirits in the Death March.
All right.
This was located in their New York section of the park. And a little smaller summary says, based on Dia de los Muertos, the March of the Dead scare zone celebrates death and honors the departed.
They're doing it right, huh?
So looking at pictures of this, it looks like it's very kind of blacklight vibes with all these like amazing sets and amazing costumes. And I really recommend everybody listening to go look up this zone from the Singapore HHN from 2016. I mean, it is just gorgeous. If this is what we're getting, I'm all for it, man.
Man, every
If
picture
you
looks like a face-off finalist. On Sci-Fi.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which, by the way, that was a scare zone in the Hollywood section of the park here in Orlando.
What, Face Off?
Yeah, they had a face-off scare zone at one point.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, funny enough. So here's the thing about March of the Dead. So this year had an icon in Singapore that very closely resembles that little symbol on the speculation map.
The Sugar Skull?
Yes, if that's what it's called. So it was actually Pinhead that pointed out that there is an international scare zone rumored to be coming to the event. So that's why everybody kind of looked up what was overseas, and this is what kind of popped up, and it makes sense. But the icon, or as they put it here, the pseudo icon, was called Lady Death. And if you look up an image of her, she straight up has like the flowers on her head, just like the symbol.
Book of Life vibes.
But somebody on the forums pointed out that this could be the reason that there was all these female icon rumors because of that casting call. The casting call could have been for this, for just the scare zone, for like this kind of main character of the zone.
With a speaking role, right? With like the improv microphone live kind of Barker style.
Yes, I do believe that that the icon did have this in Singapore. It was kind of a live mic'd actor. So here's something else that I want to point out. If this is going in Hollywood, this gives them another reason to bring back that Dia de los Muertos food booth that they've had the past 2 years. This will be the third year in a row that they would have it, and it's literally right there by the scare zone. So,
perfect. And just pick the winners. Pick the best things y'all done. The walking taco is popular, right? I didn't try it, so that'll be cool if I get a chance to try the stuff.
If this is happening, I guarantee you we're going to see that same booth in that same location.
The torta. I like the torta.
But, I mean, not a whole lot to speculate there. Beside that, I mean, it could just be a generic Dia de los Muertos scare zone. It wouldn't be very much different from this Singapore one, though, if it's not called March of the Dead. But I believe that Dark Zodiac that was last year was also a Singapore scare zone. It was very different than the Singapore one because it didn't have Oddfellow. All right, let's move on from this and go to the next little symbol. And the size of it and color is different. So this is implying it's not a scare zone. I want you to look at this, James, and I want you to tell me what this looks like to you.
Hold on, we got like a bow tie.
But like I said, this is not a scare zone box because it's not orange and it's not the same size.
So it's a different thing. It's like a stage. What was it, a show?
The show is purple.
Oh, this is the drones, huh? These are the drones are gonna come down and swoop us up. Mystery Science Theater 3000 looks like the little beak dragon.
Okay,
robot.
Okay, strikeout, man.
Hold on. Oh, I know. Space Ghost. It's the Space Ghost. What's it called? The
dude, you are really overthinking this. Look at it. What was there last year?
Okay, we got a bow tie. Let me see. Okay, I'm back to the bow tie. Let's see. Is that Megan? Is that Mithrigan? No way. So it's Mithrigan's bow.
It's the Megan Horde, man.
I got there. No, I didn't.
No, you did not. It's not a scare zone symbol, and it's not a house symbol, so it's obviously implying that is the Megan Horde in the same spot it was last year.
How do I know it's a horde? There's nothing about that. It says horde. Hey, but I was right at the first, right? Ribbon, bow tie, kind of. And then I jumped way away from it. Okay.
So yes, the Megan Horde is rumored to be coming back to the event, mainly from what Pinhead said is that the Megans were very popular last year and were very constantly asked about during rest in peace tours and surveys and all this kind of stuff. So they were popular. Unfortunately, you could hardly ever find them or see them.
Yeah,
but that was for reasons. So maybe they'll get smart and put a stage
or
somewhere.
Start using those mini stages. Finally, they got those little stages, and the Megans, they'll fit on that little stage.
And it does make sense a little bit because Megan 2.0 is coming out next year, so this could be advertisement for that.
Oh, snap.
What I want to see, though, man, let's see Megans with chainsaws.
Oh.
Imagine them doing their little dance with revving a chainsaw, though. I mean, they can't do they can't do like cartwheels and backflips with them, but like, hey, do their little dance with like revving a chainsaw.
No, you know what's better? Inspector Gadget style. It's like they're cyborged out, like ripping out of the flesh is the weaponry. That'd be pretty neat. Inspector Gadget, RoboCop. They got the blades sticking through the forearms, and maybe even Chainsaw Man style. Got chainsaws hacking out of the arm.
Are you mad about the Megans coming back though?
Not at all. They're welcome. Just like sanction them now. I mean, it's cool that it was so unexpected and unplanned last year, but now you can see where it shot him in the foot. Now they're gonna sanction him off and put him in the right spot to get to show him. I don't know.
This episode is such a mess.
Ah,
All right. Any other thoughts about the Megans before we move on?
I mean, they rocked last year, but like the obvious issues that we've been discussing. So, yeah, it'll be cool to have them in the right sections that we're not fighting over people's heads or having to resort to just looking at someone's phone above you because you can't see anything else. You're just like watching through someone's phone. So yeah, I'm happy for these updates. I'm happy about Megan. It's not official, right? This is a speculation.
No, it's speculation, just not official.
Oh.
We could, they could not be coming this year.
No, they were cool. They were grooving. I like them.
They popped up on this map, so it must be a rumor going around. All right, the next thing is the Central Park scare zone, which is still unknown, so nothing to talk about there. And then we end up at some of the original houses that we have already talked about that have officially been announced. The first one is the museum, Deadly Exhibit, and then Slaughter Cinema 2. And those are going to be at the original tents. And according to Horror Night Nightmares, the entrances to those are going to be right there in between the Men in Black ride and the Coca-Cola Freestyle building. That's not always accurate, but if that's the case, it's going to be a lot better than putting the entrance over by Kid Zone. By DreamWorks. Not Kid Zone anymore. It's going to be hard to get used to saying that.
Well, it kind of still is the kids' zone.
Yeah.
I've seen people look at that Shrek slide and not slide through. Like, go through the slide.
Oh, dude, I've seen so many videos of nothing but adults sliding down that thing.
I've been seeing resistant adults. So the fart slides for everyone.
So, these first two houses, I think, are going to be a blast. Slaughter Cinema 2 is rumored to go in the exact same location as the first one from 28. So I wonder if they're just going to rebuild the same facade that was outside and maybe make it more like worn down, just kind of add more age to it or something. Could we see the exact same thing from 28? Now, here's some kind of a new update here. The next house that's on this map is the Universal Monsters, female monsters rumored house, which is more than likely the Silver Scream Queen's house. So a week ago, a couple days after we released the last announcement episode, there was some commotion going on social media, on the forums and stuff like that. Some new information had been obtained where it seemed like an IP was dropped or something was changing. Like somebody hinted at something had changed, but nobody knew what it was. So people were like speculating, oh, an IP was dropped. Something happened. But it wasn't to that extent. People were freaking out for no reason at all. What it ended up being was that the locations were incorrect for a couple houses. The correct locations of Universal Monsters and Insidious were swapped. So the Universal Monsters house is going into one of the new tents, and Insidious is getting its own soundstage house, which is insane to me. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But as far as the Universal Monsters house, it makes sense in a way if you think about it, because those mostly went into the parade buildings, which are not existent this year. So they're going into one of the new tents. Makes a lot of sense to me. So I think it'll be fitting. It'll be fitting to have those back there. Would I have wanted it in a soundstage? Yeah, I think it could have worked. Bride of Frankenstein was in a soundstage, so that also would have made sense. If this is a sequel house to Bride of Frankenstein, it would have fit in the soundstage. But we have definitely talked about this Silver Scream Queens rumor the past few episodes, so we won't go very much into detail with it, but the location did change. It looks like it is going into one of the new tents, so it is a little exciting.
I was gonna say sorry to the bride You know, she's living in a tent now. She's used to the accommodations of like a mansion or a crazy lab. So
Hey man, these tents are much larger than the old ones. They're much taller, and they could be equivalent to a parade building.
yeah, but not a castle, not a mad scientist's tower.
You don't know that. You don't know how big those things are. I bet you that could probably fit in there.
Oh, luxurious tents. All right,
Yeah.
I'll give him a shot.
Okay, so there was the Universal Monsters house, and then there's also Goblin's Feast going into the other brand new sprung tent. And those locations on this map are in between the Fear Factor Stadium and Men in Black. So I do hope that these locations are correct as far as the entrances go, because that just means not as much walking as everybody thought they were gonna. Of course, we got Halloween Nightmare Fuel still on the map. That's pretty certain is coming. The next interesting thing is we have another scare zone symbol for the San Francisco area. And when I first saw this, I'm like, I have no idea what the heck that could be. There was this rumor going around a couple days ago that we were going to be getting a Hollywood scare zone from a previous year called Toys. Looking at this, it does look like a doll. So somebody did point out that when you type in evil doll on Google, one of the first images that pops up was this image that they used.
I was gonna say, yeah, wow, that's why is that exact?
It is, but that's the exact one that they used. So it's some kind of doll related scare zone. So it does make sense that this could be the Toys scare zone from Hollywood. Now I'll share a little bit of information on that on Toys, what Toys was. So Toys actually was at the Hollywood Horror Nights 2 different years. First time was at 2012, and the second time was last year, 2023. So it would make sense if it happened last year, they would bring it this year, since they seem to be sharing a lot of things this year. The description for the 2012 Toy Scare Zone was hidden away on the foggy streets of London is a quaint little toy shop. The place looks innocent enough from the outside, but don't be fooled. Unspeakable horrors are taking place inside the toy maker's workshop. For decades, the toy maker delighted the children of London with his handmade teddy bears and dolls. But times change and toys go out of fashion. Faced with ruin, the toy maker snapped and decided to take revenge on the people who turned their backs on him by using his skills to serve a darker calling. Now, anyone who ventures too close to the toy shop at night is in danger of being abducted by the evil toy maker and turned into one of his monstrous new creations, human toys. And then the 2023 description is a lot shorter. That one says a maniacal toy maker is using dark magic to bring evil toys to life, including a porcelain doll, teddy bear, nutcracker, and ballerina. Now these devilish dolls are after you and your friends. Getting some Revenge of Chucky Scare Zone vibes here.
Hey, but before you said all that, my first impression, because it's a little blurry thing, I thought it kind of looked like Chance, kind of
I
Chance
mean, sort
vibes.
of. It does give Chance vibes, but I think it's still too far off looking like her to be anything a hint to that. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, but
I
you showed
wouldn't.
that picture and it's like basically the same.
But man, I could see this being the rumor. I mean, some of the scare actors look pretty cool.
Oh dang, these are people that he toyed up. Pretty gnarly. That's cool. That's a good prompt for Face Off.
But the toy maker almost sounds like an icon in itself. So we got the toy maker in this scare zone. We got this other, Dia de los Muertos lady.
Mm-hmm.
Each scare zone is going to have its own icon confirmed.
So far,
No, I highly doubt that. But so that is the biggest spec of this symbol here, is that we are getting toys. Again, it was talked about before the spec map even came out. So it just seems like this year Horror Nights is sharing a lot of things from different Universals. So again, is it their way of saving a little bit of money? I'm not mad at it. I mean, this is stuff that we haven't seen at Orlando before. So this is just going to be, it's still going to be unique to us. It's only going to be disappointing for people that went and saw those properties at the other Universals.
You know what they're doing? They're trying to work up to homogenize all the properties so they can control them all at the same time, and then spread, expand, grow more lands. There's one in we got Vegas, we got Texas, we got what do they got in London or something? I think they're doing. They're
Yeah.
trying to stretch out. The first step is connecting all your dots. So they're sharing the properties. They're gonna try not to overextend themselves. They're moving slow. It's a slow ship to move. It's big. I like it. Synergy. Why not? It's pretty neat.
As far as dolls go, since this is Evil Doll, what would be interesting, and this is just totally speculating on my part, I don't think anybody's talked about this, is I believe at HHN 24, I believe that's correct, there was a fan favorite house called Dollhouse of the Damned. And it was in a tent. And again, it was a very popular house. What if this was a scare zone version of that? Doll Zone of the Damned? I doubt it, but I don't know. I just thought I would point that out. That's probably completely off, but I just wanted to say it just in case it out of nowhere happens. I could get some kind of credit for it, but there's no way it's happening. There's no way I'll get that lucky.
Well, I'll claim it if you're hands offing it. I'll be like, yes, I called it here first.
All right, moving on from that, we got Major Sweets Candy Factory located at the Fast and Furious location, which we have talked about. Again, I hope that location can just do this idea justice. I really hope we get a good house here. We just have to wait and see what they do with it. After that, we got the Unknown New York zone. That zone is always the biggest zone. It always has one of the greatest zones of the year, so we still don't know what that's going to be. And then right there by the Tribute store, we got Triplets of Terror, the latest house announcement that we got, and the most controversial in a way with the HHN community. And man, I have to be honest, from the time we recorded to now that everything's set in, I think I'm slowly growing on this idea, on this house. I feel like this is going to be a surprise hit.
Oh, the
I
triplets.
Yeah, the Triplets of Terror. I really feel that this house could bring something great to the table. I mean, these three crazy serial killer brothers just tear up this town every year, completely get away with all this crazy murders around the town. And if you think about it, this could be sort of like Blood Moon in the sense where you could see the entire town when you're in the house all together. Like you can look through the sets and see the other side of the town. That could be what's going on in this house, because the rumor is this is going to take place in different locations of the town because they're terrorizing different places. This could be this year's Blood Moon.
So they are the Tricon. I called it. They're gonna turn it up and be the main event. They're gonna prove themselves and be number one on a lot of people's lists, and in turn they will after the fact be called the Icon, and they'll come back later as the Icon. But it's three of them, so they're the Tricon.
I do think that's very possible. I don't know about your Tricon theory there, but
Am I trying too hard?
stop. But I do think that yes, I think they were going to surprise the heck out of people and become top tier lists, maybe. But moving on, Quiet Place. Again, it is pretty locked in that we are getting Quiet Place, and it's in a soundstage. And what Legacy and Pinhead have been kind of hinting at is that this house is going to surprise a lot of people. I believe it was Pinhead that said that out of all the houses that are coming to this year, this is the one that he's most hyped for, which is complete opposite of a lot of people, because a lot of people think this house will not work because, of the quietness of it and because of the size of the monsters. But if they were just to use giant puppets and just kind of, I mean, houses are all about the actions. So it's still going to be the brutal scenes of the movie per se. Like it could still be the loud parts. Like there was still intense parts of that movie that weren't quiet. So I don't think the house will base itself around that. Maybe there will be sections of it that will be silent. to where they have that room where like quiet.
You know, it'd be cool.
Uh,
That guy that yells and kills himself. I know it's a different. I don't know if it's the day one.
the word on the street is this is not the new movie Day One. This is the original Quiet Place.
Oh, sick. Well, then, what I'm saying with that guy that screams and kills himself, a good way in the house would be like you're going through trying to be quiet, and then you see the guy, and he's like, everyone's like, no, 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 don't yell, and he's like, I'm gonna yell, and then guess what? He yells, and then the spooks happen, and you gotta keep moving. It's gonna be like Emperor's New Groove with the balloon and the squirrel.
What if that's the
That's a
first
good.
scene of the house? Like as soon
That,
as like at the facade of it, there's a scare actor there like, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
heck yeah. I mean, it's a good way to build anticipation. You know, the tension.
I think we did mention this before, but the rumor is this is where the corn is this year because it's on a
Oh,
farm with a big cornfield. There is probably going to be corn in this house.
hey, you know, corn has ears of corn, and this is the quiet place. And the monsters, they're big ears. They're like Cyclops, but with an ear. Big old nasty ears. We're gonna be seeing puppets with like big old grimy ears in our face, with the ears of corn just around the corner. Oh, corner. There's another one.
Stop it, man. I got to cut you off at some point.
Hey, I'm gonna say it again. Evil elotes for the food. I want you feeding me corn. Get that corn in my face for the menu predictions. I like these little food predictions.
Get that corn out of my face, or so help me, or so help me.
I would watch that play.
Oh my gosh. Okay, moving on.
I'll take it over the fire factory. What are they called? The flame squads. What's it called?
Nightmare fuel?
Yeah. See, I don't even know the name. I'll take to get that corn out of my face or so help me over the nightmare fuel.
No,
Dude.
I want it with nightmare fuel.
Dude, they could put the corn in the pyrotechnics and get popcorn.
Just launches through cannons. Okay. With all this hype from the insiders, I'm actually excited, a little more excited than I was for A Quiet Place. I didn't quite get it at first, as well as a lot of people didn't. I didn't quite get how they were going to do it, but now with all this hype, I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it.
Oh yeah.
So next up is a slightly different change. Same location, same property. It is the Cadillac symbol for Ghostbusters. Now, this rumor has just been all over the place, but it has been there since day one of speculation maps. Now, however, the rumors have been all over the place with, is it the first movie again? Is it the first and second movie? Is it the first and second movie with the new movies? Is it just a complete montage house? Now, the rumor is that we are straight up just getting a Frozen Empire house. That's the latest spec rumor. And this late in the game, I bet you anything that it is accurate.
I mean, I seen the icicles on the logo, and I was like, were those there before? I don't know.
They were not. So that is the new part of it. That is the new thing on this map is they added icicles to the Cadillac symbol. So this
Oh,
is saying that Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is going to be the house this year. And you know what? I'm pretty happy with that. The movie itself wasn't the best. Absolutely loved Afterlife. I thought it was the perfect sequel. Frozen Empire was kind of, it could go either way with it. Good, some bad parts, some good and bad parts. But as far as a haunted house goes, this could work. I feel like this could be a lot of fun. It could be the chilly cold house of the year.
ooh, definitely the shirt's got to have that ram demon, that ancient little crusty
Mhm.
guy.
I will absolutely take a Frozen Empire house over a montage house of all the Ghostbusters. Like I would rather just them focus on one movie than the montage of Ghostbusters, especially because the rumor with Insidious is that's going to be a montage of all their movies. So I wouldn't want two back to back.
Yeah, if you're going montage or not, usually not is the preferred path.
So you've seen Frozen Empire, right, James?
I did.
So what do you think about this coming to HHN?
No, I'm for it. I mean, they've been flirting with all the Ghostbusters merch, and it's like full fledged, and like it's all but confirmed here. Yeah, and great demon. I like the villain. I think they beat him pretty easily. I'm ready for a Ghostbusters house, Frozen Empire or not.
Absolutely, and there's a pretty good chance it is Frozen Empire. Like I said, this late in the game, usually insiders know a lot more with IPs, so
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I want the shirt with the demon with the horns because
that's
it'll.
possible. I think that'll have it. And usually, when they announce an IP house, merch gets released with it. So
There you
that
go.
could be coming out next week or this coming week. So, all right. Following Ghostbusters, right next door in another soundstage is Insidious, which has moved from the tent rumor to soundstage. And it is pretty certain that it is in a soundstage, like I said. I'm totally for that. I mean, in the past, when Insidious was first at the event, it was in a tent, and then when we saw it at HHN27, it was in a Blumhouse mashup. So it was just in a small part of a tent, in the Men in Black tent, which is smaller. And now it's getting a whole huge soundstage venue, and I'm ready for that. I think they could do a lot with it. Insidious could be the just jump scare, scary house this year. Definitely the scariest IP. I think a lot of people are probably complaining that it's coming and then probably complaining that it's a mashup, but we haven't had a whole lot of taste of it at HHN, so I'm actually ready to see this house.
I'm down. I don't know what the occasion is really. Maybe there's no occasion needed. Insidious is not something I would ask for,
Yeah,
but maybe that's why people are
I mean
grumpy about it.
I'm with you on that, but if it's coming, I welcome it. There's always the past few years there's been some kind of Blumhouse representation at the event, and this is going to be it. I don't know why they're choosing this. I mean, there was the new Insidious movie last year, The Red Door, and I have a big feeling that that will be part of this house, but the rumor is that it's the mashup, so it's going to be the other movies as well, but it'll still have The Red Door in it. Following Insidious, the final thing we have on this map is Monsturos. You James wanted me to keep saying it that way, Monsturos, or it's
Monstrous.
or Monstros. It could be Monstros.
You think
Monstros.
monstru? I can only say monstruos. That's all I got. I look at it and I become a cat hacking out a hairball. Monstruous. Mon- monstruos. I'm doing my best.
I mean, we've talked about this house a lot since the Spec Map 1 episode. I still think this is my most anticipated house this year. This is located in the Blood Moon location from last year, so it has a lot to live up to being in that same location, and I feel like it could. I feel like this and Triplets of Terror could be the pretty houses, possibly. I'm not sure if we're going to have two of the pretty houses, but out of both of those, I'm leaning more toward the Monstros house
As the pretty
being like
house.
the pretty grand house. But I don't know. Maybe we have two of them. But that's all I really got as far as like anything new to say about this house. I'm just completely stoked for this house, and it's number one on my hype list. I'm gonna give that away right now. Spoiler alert for our hype list episode.
Man, I got spoiled. I don't want to know your list. Keep your list over there.
It's just so obvious, man. That's the one, man. That's with us being like having the La Lechusa legend like as part of our childhood, and just I don't know, it just seems so unique and scary. Like they could really pull off a lot of things with this. And it's in a soundstage. I'm ready for it, man. This is gonna be it. That's gonna be the one. There, ladies and gentlemen, is Spec Map version 3. I mean, looking at this thing, we have potential for this year, man. This year could be amazing. We don't quite know what the scare zone icon situation is yet. That's still up in the air, which is great. I'm really happy that it's still a pretty good mystery what the scare zones are going to be. And again, I really hope they surprise us with a show, with a second show. I don't think it's happening, but I just hope they do.
Look, the whole logo of this year is like Blink 182 style. Is there any possibility that Mohawk skeleton guy could promote to Icon? Or they? It's like wedding dress rules. You don't show the wedding dress before the wedding, right? It wouldn't be. He wouldn't be the Icon, right?
I mean, that's a good question. I I don't think so. I think that's such a weird thing to be the icon on the same year as all the promotion with this weird Stranger Things ripoff Dungeons and Dragons creature thing. I don't know. It's such a weird marketing thing, but what everybody's connected that to is the character from Slaughter Cinema 2. He is for sure in Slaughter Cinema 2, and
You know who he is?
his vibe fits with all this merchandise stuff.
He's Eddie from the underworld. He's dead Eddie. You know, Eddie sacrificed himself in the Upside Down. This is his corpse. His skin went away. He has a mohawk now.
He's become this crazy creature.
His name, we're gonna coin it here, Deddy.
Oh no.
We heard it here first. That's his name, Deddy.
Anyway, going back to what I was saying, it's really great that we don't know anything about scare zones, about shows, about the icon yet, and we're like 90 days away from the event starting. It's like 92 or something, I think. And
So you approve of the pacing?
I kind of dig it. I kind of dig that we don't know it, and we're just barely getting the first little teases of what the scare zones could be, and it's still up in the air. Like, it's not certain. These are just straight up guesses. So it's great. I love it. And I think this year is going to be very exciting. I think it has potential to maybe possibly beat last year's. I'm actually holding on to that, holding on to hope that that's going to be true, that it's going to top even last year, because last year was amazing. And if this year can top that, whew, it's going to be so much fun. So much fun.
Dang, you're rooting against Oddfellow. I'm telling.
Hey, this could all be connected to Oddfellow at some point. Remember, it could be an icon battle, the Icon Avengers.
Hey, I think you're a liar. You're saying it's good not to know, but aren't you itching to know constantly? You want to know everything right now, and now you're like, I think you got like, what's it called, the munch out? Huh?
I think it's because we got so many house announcements. I think I'm okay now. Like, I'm okay with. I think it's the houses. I'm always so eager to know what they are. Scare zones, I think I'm kind of cool with having those a mystery. And the icon, maybe I want to know more about right now. I think that one I can say that yes, I want it. I really want to know more. Having that such a mystery, especially with that weird trailer that we got, that's kind of having me itch the back of my head constantly. But scare zones, I'm pretty happy that those are mysteries. Like, if they were to announce that like right before the event started, I'd be okay with.
All right, as long as you don't got Stockholm syndrome, you're just like taking the abuse. These guys are mean, you know. They're teasing.
Nah, man, they gifted us with all these crazy house announcements back to back, and we pretty much know the IPs. I'm saying that right now. The IPs are pretty locked in what we're getting. But yeah, here we go. I mean, we've accomplished another speculation map episode. Now, I know these get a lot of newcomers every time we post these things. So if you did listen to this, if you did enjoy it, I hope you were able to stay all the way through, because we got off track a lot. We got unhinged a lot too. So
I just hope I'm entertaining to the spouse who's not into the stuff, you know, the friend of the person who is obsessed, and they're just like, let me show you this thing, and they're like, I don't even care about that, and then here we are. So hopefully it was better than nothing. Hey, welcome aboard.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking around, listening to us just ramble and just be just doofuses. But if you enjoyed the show, we tend to jump on here at every update that we can, every HHN update that gets announced, or any rumors update, speculation update. We try to cover everything pretty much year round is what we're trying to do. Follow us on all the major podcast platforms. We are on Instagram at HHN Obsession. We are on Twitter at HHN Obsession, Blue Sky, Threads, all that stuff. Give us a follow. And if you enjoy the show, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and a 5-star review on Spotify, as well as anywhere else you can give us reviews. And every review helps. So if you enjoyed it, please be so kind to go over there and drop one of those for us. Give us any critiques. I mean, we're always up for critiques on the comments of our YouTube music, or just on Twitter. Comment down below.
Yeah, give suggestions. What do you want to hear more of? Like, what do you like specifically? Like, maybe we're blind to it. Maybe you like that one little thing we did. We'll do more of it.
We will more than likely be back on the mics very soon because of June 6th. I can guarantee we're going to be getting some more news, some more announcements, maybe another house. Be on the lookout for another episode. We more than likely will be putting that out very soon. But until then,
be excellent to each other.
And stay out of that corn. They bring too many hurricanes and storms, and apparently quiet places.
Yeah, knock it off. Or should I say knob it off. Hey. That's the guy killing himself with the ear clops.
That wasn't even close. You sounded like Tom Cruise in the Mummy trailer.
You're damn right. Just wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while.
Hey everyone, just wanted to give a quick shout out to my good friend Zach Weber, who provided our intro and outro song, Heebie Jeebies. You can listen to the full version of Heebie Jeebies on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or anywhere where you listen to your favorite music. Thanks for listening.